It's time to start. Good morning, everyone. Welcome to USA Bowl in Dallas, Texas for the Roto Grip Sport Challenge Youth Bowling League. We've gone through our 3 games of qualifying, and we've picked the top 8 bowlers. Our number 1 qualifier, Gannon. Number 2, JL. Number 3, Garrett. Number 4, Keegan. Number 5, Nolan. And number 6, Haley. Number 7, Morgan, and number 8 will be Logan. So the top 8 bowlers bowl in single elimination bracket play. So our matchups here on our left pair, 31-32, Gannon be bowling against Logan. Also 31-32, Keegan will be bowling Nolan. 33-34, we've got Garrett going against Haley. And JL going against Morgan. Morgan off to a great start, going spare, strike, strike. Gannon taking his shot on 32, light pocket. Leaving a 2-4-5. And Haley stepping up on 33. Starting her 4th frame, working on a spare. Sending an idle up the 5 board. High flush, knocks them all back. 10 in the pit. Logan coming in a little bit high. Leaving a single pin over there. Garrett picking up his spare. We got to see that again. That's how you do it. Picking up the 6-10, shooting the 6 in front of the 10, bouncing off the wall, dropping it in the gutter, and then knocking the 10 back late. That's outstanding. All right, so Morgan working on her 6-7-10 split here to stay clean. JL taking her first shot in the 4th. Leaving a 9 pin. Morgan going for it and going a little bit wide. And Keegan, who's last week's winner, stepping up on 32. Who's the 4th place qualifier today. And finding the pocket right there. So he's spare strike, finishing his 2nd frame. JL on 34, picking up her spare. And Nolan striking in his 2nd frame. Garrett striking in his 5th. Taking advantage of that 10 pin he managed to knock over. And Haley on lane 34. Getting lined up. Wiping the shoe, stepping back. So we got Gannon here on 31. Playing a little too far outside. So they're on a short pattern today. This is not a house shot. This is not the easy stuff you find at your local bowling center when you go bowling. This is professional oil patterns. They don't know what the pattern is. It's the same pattern they bowled on for qualifying. All they know it's short, and we can definitely see that. So you want your break point pretty far outside, pretty close to the gutter, and pretty close to you. So we're probably looking 34 to 36, maybe 37 feet. So you're going to want that break point a little closer to you, a little further outside. Give the ball time to come back and find the pocket. So these are the bracket play lanes. These are not bowled on previously, so we are on the fresh. And on a totally new set of lanes. So these lanes have not been bowled on by anyone yet today. So these competitors are coming from their qualifying pairs over to the bracket play pairs, so they've got to figure out the fresh again on a new pair. And Keegan finding the light pocket, getting the mixer, knocking him out. Morgan on 34. Getting the crossover, carrying the 9-pin. And Nolan on his third frame. He is up against Keegan, who's on a double. Nolan, two-hand power, leaving a 4-pin. And Haley getting the light shot, not getting the light mixer this time. Leaving the 2-4-5. So Nolan going for his 4-pin, hooking at it a little bit. All right, bold move. Garrett working on a strike on lane 34. And he is living right. He's got the carry today. He's got the right ball in his hand. Things are looking good. Score didn't give him credit for it, so he's got to get that fixed. All right, and JL pound in the pocket there, sending 10 back. So it looks like these competitors have done a great job adjusting, figuring out the pair, figuring out the oil pattern. And Gannon the light mixer there. So he's got a good look. Logan with a 2-4-7-10 for the lefty. Makeable. See if he can pull this off. And, oh, and he's got it. Take a look at that. Logan there, getting just enough of the 2 to slide it right over in the 10. And Garrett not carrying the 10 on that one. So again, Garrett is going against Haley there. We've got a 112 to 114 tight match, and Haley's on a strike. Nolan getting him 10 back there. Garrett, two-hander from Austin, shooting at his 10-pin here. Looks like the pace has slowed down just a little bit. Give me a chance to catch up. And that will hook away at the last second. So Haley can really put some pressure on here. Morgan picking up her spare. Gannon stepping up on the 31, the number 1 qualifier. And that's going to be high, too high, and he's going to split, leaving a 6-7-10. So we'll see if Logan can capitalize on his split conversion. And he leaves a 7. JL on 33, working on a double here. That's going to be light, leaves a 2-8. And Gannon going after it, but just picks the 6 off the 6-7-10. And Garrett on 34. He's got the carry today. We'll see if he can carry this. And another 10-pin for him. It's a little adjustment needed there with that, looks like purple hammer he's got in his hand. JL getting the 2-8, little slip. But still manages to pick it up. Keegan goes a little outside. Right, Logan carrying his 7. Garrett, another chance at the 10-pin there, and he's got it. He's not going to miss 2. Making sure he makes his adjustments, picks up that spare. All right, Keegan getting his spare. And Haley a little outside, leaving a 2-4-5. Nolan, two-hander playing up the right side, up 5 with a fast pitch, it looks like, leaving a 10-pin. And still tight matches here. No one's walking away with it. Right, Nolan missing on that 10-pin. JL going up the gutter, getting that carry. And Haley picking up her spare, looking good. So again, the competitors are competing against the person across from them on the scoreboard. And we have got some tight matches. Our right pair started first, so they are a couple frames ahead. So we'll see the results of their matches before the left pair. Morgan crossing over, getting the strike. That keeps her 6-pin lead over JL. Haley coming in light again, leaving a bucket this time. So she is ahead in her match, but Garrett is not going to hand this over to her. So picking this one up is going to be important. Gannon getting his 10-pin out. Garrett piping it up there in the pocket, high pocket, leaving a 9-pin. And he is going to want to pick that up. Haley shooting at the bucket there, crossing over and getting the 5 out. That is going to help her cause, and Garrett is going to need this to keep the pressure on Haley. Keegan going up the 1 board there, leaving a 2-8, a little outside. So he's about 30 or so ahead of Nolan after his open. And that looks good. That's the line for Nolan right there. Morgan on 34, going high. Leaving a 6-9. Wonder if that 9 will stand up. Yep. All right. Keegan, a little too much hook on that. Opens the 2-8. All right, Garrett picks his spare up. So still a tight match between Garrett and Haley. Morgan picking up her spare. Gannon on 31. That is high. Leaves a 6-10. So I want to pick that up to keep the pressure on Logan, who is stepping up on 32, and JL leaves a 2-8-10 on 33. Tough split. Logan, that's going to go high, and he leaves the big 4. So Gannon picking up his 6-10. That will probably give him the lead going into the 8th frame. JL picking. Oh, that was just a 2-10. There wasn't an 8 back there. Logan going for it. And getting 2. All right, so Garrett shooting at the 6-10 in the 10th. And whoo, picking up the 6-10. Gives him 149 to Let's see what Haley shoots here on a spare. Ooh, she knocks that 7 out. So she's got 258 already. She might have this one in the bag. Garrett getting 9 for 168. So she needs this to tie the pressure situation here. This and 1 pin will win it, and she's got the tie right now. And she just needs 1 for the win. So in JL and Morgan's match, Morgan is in the lead. All right, JL with a strike, first shot in the 10th. And Haley knocking them all back from the left pocket, crossing over, getting her strike, and she will advance in her match against Garrett. So we've got close match between JL and Morgan. JL, pressure player, leaves a 4-pin there. Just a touch high, it looked like. And Morgan leaving a 5-pin. And that will be enough to put her ahead of JL. So Morgan will advance. And for you folks at home, this is not your average run-of-the-mill league. A couple cool things about this is it's not just 3 games. As you can see here, we did the 3 games of qualifying this morning, and then right after they advance, the top 8 go to bracket play. And these aren't just your regular youth bowlers. This is not everyday run-of-the-mill competitors here. We've got several of these competitors have been top 10 at Junior Gold. Morgan has been top 10 a couple times, I believe, at Junior Gold. JL's been top 10. Keegan in U12 a couple years ago was on the TV show. So we've got some top flight competitors here. We've got other top 10 Junior Gold youth athletes that did not make the top 8 here. So lots of tough competition, tough oil patterns. Makes for some challenging conditions. That's why this is the Roto Grip Sport Challenge. All right, so our right pair has been decided. Our left pair, we've got a tight match still between Logan and Gannon. So Gannon is on a spare. Logan is on an open. Keegan's at 140. Nolan is 125, so he's 15 down. They're both on opens in the 8th. So anyone can take this. And again, you're not seeing the high scores you would on a house shot. These are the same oil patterns that you're going to see for the professionals bowling on television, just without the blue oil, so they can't see any pattern, and they don't know the pattern. They've just got to figure it out based on what their ball is doing and make adjustments based off of that. Logan finding the pocket there, leaving a 7-pin. Coming in just a touch light. So Gannon knows he's got to keep the pressure on. And he picks up his 245. Finishing his 9th frame with a spare. And Logan needs this 7-pin. So the pace is definitely slowed down. These guys are thinking about every shot. Can't give anything away in close matches like this. Oh, and he misses that 7-pin. And Keegan struck in his last frame. Nolan needed that one to stay close, and he comes in a touch high, leaves the 9-pin. That's going to make it very difficult. He's going to need some help from Keegan, and if I know Keegan, he's not going to give it to him. So we've got the 10th frame left. So Gannon and Keegan both have the lead in their matches, taking their time, stepping up on the 10th frame here. We also don't have a shot clock, by the way. We might have to look into that. All right, Gannon taking his first shot in the 10th. That looks to be a little inside. Left off of his hand, crosses over, misses the head pin, leaves a 1-3-6. So it's going to be pretty important for Logan to get all three in the 10th here. And he stays out of trouble at least. And leaves a 6-pin. And Morgan and Haley have started their second match. And Gannon is going to miss that. And Logan picking up his shot. So that will put him at 126. So he can finish at 136. So that match is going to go to Gannon. So that's where you see that missed single pin in the 9th. Cost him there. So at every level, spares are important. You definitely want to make the makeables. Leave something you can make and make it. That's the rules of the game. All right, so Keegan stepping up on his second shot in the 10th, and that, I had a 7-10 there for a second, and he left a 10-pin, and he is on, so he has shut out Nolan, and that 4-pin is not going to matter as Keegan is going to take this match. So we've got Keegan versus Gannon, and Morgan versus Haley, and that's, if you're going to pick a time to miss 10-pin, that's when you want to do it. It's after you got the match sealed up. So Nolan will finish his 10th frame here. And then Keegan and Gannon will start their match against each other. And the boys and girls compete directly against each other. It just happens to work out that's our right side match is girls, our left side match is boys. So whoever wins either of these two matches are going to face each other in a head-to-head championship round to see who takes all the marbles. So Haley is on an open in the first, and she's got a 3-6-10, not the easiest spare in the world to make. A lot of people hate it, and so does Haley. So 3-6, the 3 off the 3-6-10. So she's going to start with 2 opens, and Morgan is on a spare here on her first frame. And she's starting her second. Looks like she's going to play up the gutter here. Straight up the 5 board, and coming in light Then a 1, 2, 4, 10. Makeable. Just hit the head pin to the left and slide it over into the 10. And that is not going to do it. So she's going to open in her second frame and keep a small lead over Haley. On our left pair, we've got Keegan. And he didn't like it off his hand. Could have been a lot worse. Leaves just a 10 pin. All right, and Keegan picking up his 10 pin right there. And Morgan on 34. Shooting at a 10 pin there, and she will pick that up. Fill that frame. And so Haley's going to need to get a mark here at least. It's still early, but you don't want to fall behind too much too early. So we'll see if she makes an adjustment off of her first shot. And that is going to be a little bit outside, come in light. Leave her not the easiest make. It's a 1, 2, 8. Gannon coming in a little bit high. Leaving a 4, 7. And Haley, oh, getting it the hard way. She's going to pick that up. Bouncing, I think it was the 2 off the wall to get the 10 pin there. Good shot. Good enough anyway. All right, so Haley taking her shot in the 4th frame. That's way outside, but finds the friction to come back, but not quite enough. And leaves a 10 pin. So even though that's a missed shot, that gives you a little bit of information about what the lanes are doing out there. So you can see that there is some friction down the lane out on the 1-2 board out there. So she may choose to do something with that bit of information or not. So if she's got the hand, she could move in and just bounce it off that spot, but that may not be her game. She's, I think, a little bit straighter. Gaining on 31, coming through the nose, knocking out the 3, knocking the 10 off the 310. So that leaves him just a 3 pin to make here. Another single pin. Checking out his sole of his shoe there. Maybe sticking a little bit. It's humid here today, so that's going to change the approaches. Oh, Morgan right there. That's her line. That was a great shot. And Gannon shooting at his 3 pin. Clobbers it. Good shot. And Morgan, getting a light mixer. All right. Keegan didn't like that off of his hand. Leaves himself a 3-9. So that was just a little bit left off his hand inside the whole way. Could have been a lot worse. But leaves himself with something makeable. And he makes it. All right, so filling frames. That's the name of the game. Morgan shooting at her 7 pin. Right on target. So Keegan starting his third frame on lane 31, and that looked a little bit left and inside, but it was so bad it's good. He crossed over, got the strike there, finding the left pocket, and Haley, that looks good. She liked it. Knocking them all down. So that will put her up by 1, looks like. Halfway through the match. And Gannon giving Keegan a little bit of the business there. Getting the crossover, knocking them all back. And Haley outside. So you can see the right pair, they're definitely playing, the left lane is playing a little different than the right. So the shot that Haley made on 33, you make that same shot on 34, and it's not going to come back quite as much. So she'll take that information and make an adjustment. Either move inside a couple boards, a parallel move, and oh, she got the 10 with the 2, but that's still going to be an open for her. And we got Gannon on 31. Yeah, he's taking his shot. That is going to read a little bit early and leaves him a 6-10. So the left pocket seems to be home for the boys over there. Ooh, pocket 7-10. So Gannon shooting at the 6-10, and he picks that up. Morgan's going to get 1 there. A close match like this, you definitely want to make sure that you are getting every pin that you can. So that puts Morgan up by 8 right now. And Keegan working on a strike, starting his 4th frame. And that's going to be light, but it leaves a 7-pin. And Morgan crossing over on 34. Making up for her open frame there. Putting a little pressure on Haley. And Keegan hooking at the 7-pin. And that is an occupational hazard of hooking at single pins. Sometimes it doesn't do what you expect. And you miss. So that's going to be strike open for him. Strike spare for Gannon. And that's going to hand the lead over to Gannon. All right, so he doesn't like that one either. And that was left the whole way as well. But just leaves a 1-3. Haley shooting at a 1-2-8, and she picks that up. Not an easy spare to make. Needed that one to keep some pressure on Morgan there. As Morgan's on a strike in the 7th. Haley on a spare. And Keegan making a good shot to pick up a spare. It's one of those cases where you wish you would have thrown your second shot first. And Haley using that friction, and she leaves a 4-7. All right, Gannon on 32. And that might be left. It is. But it's left enough that it's going to cross over and knock them all down. Oh, Haley. Wasn't sure about that one. I don't think anyone was. But she picked up the 4-7 there. Fills the frame. So we've got Morgan on Frame 8, working on a strike. So a strike here would increase her lead, and she's going to leave the 1-2-8, just like Haley did. So Gannon on 31. In his 6th frame, that's that hook stop reaction there. Just get it out to the pocket, and it stops and rolls straight back. And that worked out for him, putting him in the driver's seat there with a double. Morgan is going to miss that. So she opens, and that will put her down by 4 or so. And Keegan having a hard time getting it enough right to get the pocket. But he's leaving stuff he can make, so he's still in it. It's when you're going through the nose, leaving splits and stuff that you can't make. That's when you got to start worrying about your chances here. But he's shooting a spare ball at this. And I was going to say, risk leaving a 6-pin there, but he bounced one off the wall and got that spare. All right, so Morgan shooting at her single pin here on lane 9. And she makes that. All right, so Haley's going to do her 9th and 10th frame here. And it looks like Keegan's going to go first on 31. There we go. He gets the pocket there. I think he's shooting a virtual gravity there. All right. All right. Haley knocks out a mess there, but just leaves herself a 4-pin. Two-pin. She knocked out the 2-8. Knocked the 8 off the 2-8. Okay, so Gannon here starting his 7th frame. He's on a double. Count here is going to be very important. And he gets 6. And Haley shooting her 2-pin. She fills that frame. That's important. In her 3-pin lead over Morgan. All right, so filling this frame would really help Gannon there. He's throwing kind of a backup ball approach, and he misses. And that's on a double, so that's going to cost him count. So any pins he would have made there would have counted twice. So that is leaving the door open for Keegan there. And Haley looks like came in light, leaving a 4-5-7. Not the shot that you want to leave on the first shot in your 10th. You've got to get the ball between the 4 and the 5 and have the 4-pin take out the 7. If she makes this, it will earn her an instant replay, undoubtedly. All right, so Gannon doing the hook stop, getting the strike. Needed that. Keep the pressure on. All right, so Haley hooking at this. And almost. So she's going to finish with 146. So what, 8 will tie? All right. So Keegan liking that virtual gravity there, running it out. I think he ended up by lane 4 or 5, but he's back. All right, Morgan, that's going to be high. All right. So she needs to make it to tie. And Keegan likes that shot, and that's why. All right, Keegan saying that strike was so bad it only counted as 9. All right, so Morgan shooting at the 310. Some people call this the unmakeable spare, and that is going to take the 3 off the 10 for a miss and a 1-pin loss, and that's going to advance Haley to the final match. Close match, close match. All right, so we've got Gannon, a little left off the hand, leaving a 5-10. And with Keegan on a triple. And, oh. So that's going to give him 155. Keegan's already at 163. So he can strike out for 185 to have any hope. And that needs to cross over, and he gets that. So his second shot in the 10th. That is wide. Yeah, it leaves the 1-2-4-7. So the best he can do here is 175. And Keegan's just going to need a little bit of count to advance. He gets 2. It's going to be 173. And Keegan taking his first shot in the 10th, getting 8, and that is going to do it. All right, so we're going to take a moment, reposition our cameras, and get set up for our final match. YouTube, Sport Bowling Protection.
I was looking under the one on Facebook. I gotta go, but dang it, I want to.
Okay, yep. And I put it on the USA group.
Oh, that's where it was. The USA Facebook page.
Well, that's what I looked on. I didn't see it.
It was there from the late last night or early this morning. That page, the one where the Halloween.
I know, but I don't see it.
That's not it. Here, I'll find it and send it to you. Let me get my glasses.
Are you blowing it?
Hold on, wait. Have you on this lane?
Oh, I'm tired. I'm bad. I was like, oh, you know, if she would have said that, I would have been like that. But when she said that, I was just like, I actually want to go to the guy. I actually am going to go to the guy and go.
Oh, so much for that, huh?
Oh, did they tie? What happened? Oh, no.
Man, I don't want to go back on the phone.
All right, starting our championship match. Keegan versus Haley. Keegan get the lane choice, and he switched over to 33-34. All right, so Keegan starting off with the strike. So I think Keegan's throwing virtual gravity. Haley throwing a gravity evolve. So we've got the past versus the future. And Haley shooting at her 6-pin. Ooh, just misses. So she's switching her thumb from her spare ball back to gravity evolve. And a little bit more inside. It's going to read and leave her a 4-6-7. So she's got a choice whether to go for it or just get the count. She's going to go for the count. It's a good move. It's still early. Still lots of frames to go. So Keegan on second frame. Walking it out. But he found that friction spot that Haley found earlier in the last game. So he was busy bowling. He probably didn't see that. But that is one of the risks of going to a new pair, is you might find some stuff that you didn't know was there. So he found that friction spot. So he will definitely not try and hit that again. All right, so we've got Keegan by 8 after 2. Again, still early. And he's got that left lane figured out. If he gets the right lane figured out, he's going to be dangerous. Going to be tough to beat. But this is the pair that Haley was on for the last 2 games. So she knows what's out there. And she's going to cross over and leave a 10-pin. That might be a little inside. Oh, just enough to pick it up. And so that is going to be a spare for her. And she's looking to make a ball change here. So the Gravity Evolve is pretty early ball. It's a strong ASIM. Like got 248 RG, pretty high diff as well. I think 5 something. So it's going to be early and strong. So she might be going for something a little bit longer. I'm not sure what she's got in her hand there, but that ended up going a little bit high, leaving a 3.610. Not the easiest spare to make. And she's going to get it the hard way. Yes, from the left side. So it'll be spare for her. All right, so Keegan working on a strike here in the third frame. Launching that one up. Getting the high flush strike. So it looks like he's got that right lane figured out as well. So he's got his path to success ironed out. Just needs to continue making good shots. That was inside. He didn't like it, and he leaves himself a 3.610 there. And he's going to pick that one up. Right, so Haley's working on a spare. And, oh, that's going to have to be reset. Yeah. You have to reset it. Oh. Yeah, so the 9-pin was on its way down, but the rack came down and touched it and knocked it over, so it's going to be it's a dead pin there, so she's going to need the 9-pin reset and shoot at it. Which she should be able to make without any problem.
It's time to start.